Hello and welcome to Kibo Reviews. I hope you are all doing well. It's been long since we had a look at the bike series and several of you have been requesting for a comparison between two very interesting bikes. These are the 2023 Power Tekken 250 and the Kibo K 250. I've taken time to prepare this video because I also wanted to get in touch with some of the owners of these bikes so that I can get to know their experiences with their bikes as well as their pros and cons, so that you can be well informed and make a good decision if you are not sure on which bike to go for between these two. So as usual, we will begin with the specifications, then the pros and cons, then we will conclude by finding out which one would make the most suitable choice. So please stay tuned and consider subscribing to the channel for more informative content on cars and bikes. Once again, welcome to Kibo Reviews. So I did a review of the Power Tekken 250 some time back, and in that particular episode we discussed about the pros and cons of that bike. Now the 2023 model is already in the Kenyan market and there are some improvements that have been made. So let's have a look at its specifications to see how it stacks up against the Kibo K 250. Beginning with the prices, the 2023 Power Tekken 250 is slightly more expensive compared to the earlier models, and this is due to the improvements that have been made. The basic option without the 3 storage boxes is going for roughly around 295,000 shillings. If you want the 3 boxes, you will now pay around 315,000 shillings, and if you want the windshield, then you will be required to pay around 320,000 shillings. The windshield is one of the additions that have been made, and it's a really welcomed addition because you can now take this bike on long journeys without the worry of strong wind blasts. This bike comes with a 2-year warranty. The Kibo 250 on the other hand costs roughly between 260,000 shillings to around 350,000 shillings, depending on whether it's used or new. The used ones are more affordable. In fact, you can get one with even less than 260,000 shillings depending on the condition and mileage. Moving on to the engine options, the Power Tekken 250 comes with a 250cc engine. It's actually a 223cc 4-stroke carbureted single-cylinder engine that is either air-cooled or oil-cooled. This engine produces around 19.7 horsepower and it's mated to a 6-speed transmission. Its top speed is around 140 km per hour. This is an improvement from the pre-updated version that could do up to around 120 km per hour. The top speed will however depend on several factors such as the weight of the rider and also the presence of the storage boxes. These boxes will certainly affect the aerodynamics and hence the top speed. Then the altitude of where you are riding at may also slightly affect the performance of the bike. As for fuel consumption, this engine can give around 30 km per liter or more depending on how you ride. It can almost get to 40 km per liter if you are really gentle with the accelerator. The Kibo 250 gets a 250cc engine, a 225cc to be precise. It's also a 4-stroke carbureted single-cylinder engine that is both air and oil-cooled. It produces around 17 horsepower and it's mated to a 5-speed transmission. Its top speed is roughly around 120 km per hour and its fuel consumption is between 29 to around 36 km per liter, again depending on how you ride as well as the load on the bike. That lack of a 6th gear tends to limit the performance and top speed of this bike. The Power Tekken has a 14-liter fuel tank while the Kibo has a 10.4-liter tank. As for the brakes, they both get single discs at the front and back, but ABS is not available, which is quite unfortunate. It can get dangerous once the front wheel locks up upon panic braking, so ABS is very important, at least even if it's a single channel ABS. I hope in the next update it will at least even come as an extra option. The seat height on the Tekken is around 820 mm, while that of the Kibo is slightly lower at around 800 mm. Generally, most people of average height should be able to ride both bikes. You may not flat foot them, but handling and riding both bikes should be manageable, especially being that they are light bikes. The wheelbase of the Power Tekken measures in at around 1360mm, while that of the Kibo is slightly longer at around 1450mm. In fact, even visually the Kibo is longer and you can even carry 2 passengers. The Power Tekken's front suspension are inverted shocks, while at the back it has an adjustable monoshock. The Kibo has telescopic shocks at the front and twin coilover shocks at the back. Now I should also mention that the suspension on the Tekken is better than on the Kibo, which is a bit hard. The weight of the Tekken is roughly around 141 kgs, while that of the Kibo is around 145 kgs. Now how about the looks? Do let me know which one you would prefer in the comment section. Personally, I think the Power Tekken is the better looking bike, especially with the top and side boxes plus the windshield. It looks aggressive and off-road ready. Even the handguards really make it look like a serious adventure bike. The Kibo on the other hand looks unique but a bit rudimentary. In fact, when placed side by side, the Power Tekken makes the Kibo look a bit dated. The fit and finish on the Tekken also looks slightly well done and better than on the Kibo. In fact, from some of the owners I interacted with, they say that the paintwork on the Kibo tends to fade away faster. So in terms of the build quality, the Tekken is slightly ahead. Let's now look into each bike's pros and cons, beginning with the Power Tekken 250. Some of the additions that have been made have really improved the value of this bike. For example, it now gets an LED headlight. Initially, it only came with a halogen bulb for the headlight, which was not that bright, but now it gets a powerful LED headlight. It also gets the windshield that I had mentioned earlier. Another interesting feature is the remote locking and unlocking plus remote starting. Yes, you can now start this bike using its key fob. That is an impressive and upmarket feature. Another strong point is its fuel consumption, which is very good, especially due to its lightweight and 6th gear. Value for money is another very strong point. Look at it this way. With around 320,000 shillings, you're getting a bike with a top and side boxes, a windshield, LED lights, remote locking, unlocking plus starting, and an engine guard plate. Compare that to the Kibo, which can cost as much as 350,000 shillings, yet it doesn't get all the features I've just mentioned. So this Power Tekken is really a good and impressive value proposition. Yes, the price has slightly gone up, but you still get quite a lot for the money. The last strong point is its comfortable ride, especially due to its rear monoshock. On to its weak points, the first one is the lack of ABS, as I had already mentioned. ABS is a very important safety feature on bikes and it should be standard. We can only hope that it will be made available in the next update. Another weak point is its small monocolor instrument cluster, which may be a bit difficult to see, especially when the sun is up and bright. Moving on to the Kibo, the first strong point is its strong frame, which enables it to really carry a lot of weight. It's claimed that it can carry up to around 250 kgs, which is quite a lot. This is a workhorse. Stability is another strong point. At speeds of around 90 to 100 km per hour, it feels very stable and it inspires confidence regardless of whether it's carrying a heavy load or not. Its lower seat height is very ideal even for slightly shorter people, so riding it will certainly not be a cumbersome task. On to the weak points. The first one is the harsh suspension. Most owners have reported that the suspension is not very good at absorbing the road undulations. The second one is its small fuel tank. We can only hope that the next update will bring along a larger tank. Another weakness is its very small instrument cluster, which is just too small. In fact, smaller than the one on the Power Tekken. The information displayed there is not very easy to see, especially during the day. The headlight on this bike is not LED. The indicators and brake lights are all LEDs, but the headlight is just the normal bulb and it's not bright enough. This can be remedied by installing much brighter aftermarket auxiliary lights. lack of the already mentioned sixth gear is another weak point, and this limits the performance of this bike and even the fuel consumption. This was not such a good omission on a 250cc bike. They should have really included that sixth gear. It also has no ABS, just like the Power Tekken. Windshield is also not available even as an option. So if you're going out on long journeys, then you may experience some wind blasts. Some owners have also reported that the spare parts are a bit on the expensive side, so that's something to also keep in mind. Lastly, though this is just a minor weak point, starting this bike especially in the morning may prove a challenge, and according to some owners, this may be partly due to the battery. So when you start experiencing this, it's recommended that you just change the battery. So with all that said, which one would make the most suitable choice? My recommendation would be the Power Tekken 250. It looks nice, it's more modern and feature loaded, yet also affordable, so it would make more sense. I think Kibo as a company still have a lot to do. The bike is not bad, it's just that the competitors have a lot more to offer in terms of features and performance, and even in terms of the price. So Kibo really need to update their bike and quickly catch up with the competition. Some of the features that will be a much welcome addition include LED headlights, slightly softer suspension, maybe ABS, a larger fuel tank, and even price consideration. So I hope this has been helpful. Thanks a lot for watching. Do let me know which bike you would prefer in the comment section. Thanks a lot for watching. Please consider subscribing to the channel for more informative content on cars and bikes. That's it for this particular episode. Stay safe. See you in the